Have you ever wondered, what if you've already found God and didn't even realize it? Take a moment, breathe, let that question echo inside you. Because maybe, just maybe, the divine isn't hidden in the clouds or locked behind temple doors. Maybe God has been quietly walking beside you all along. In a glance, a smile, a simple act of kindness. Have you felt that warm presence in the middle of your pain? That calm in your chaos? Could it be that was God? I want to invite you on a journey, not outside of you, but deep within. Because what if the sacred is closer than you think? What if God isn't only found in grand miracles, glowing altars, or sacred texts? What if He is in the everyday, the ordinary moments you keep overlooking? Before we dive deep into this reflection, I'd love to ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where you felt something bigger guiding you, but didn't know what to call it? Share that in the comments. I read them all, and you never know who might feel less alone through your story. And if this message already touched something inside you, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. You never know whose life you might impact with one small act of sharing. Because today, we're not just talking about God, we're inviting you to feel Him, not somewhere far away, but in you. So stay with me until the end. This might be the reminder your soul has been quietly asking for. Let's start with a truth most people overlook. God is not limited to churches, temples, or sacred mountains. He is not confined to rituals, robes, or holy days. He is not only present when things go right or when prayers are answered in the way we hoped. God is everywhere. And yes, He is within you. Sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but think about it. How many times have you been searching for something more, something higher, while ignoring the quiet voice already speaking from inside? We were raised to look upward when we prayed, to believe that the divine lives far away, somewhere unreachable unless we were worthy enough. But what if God is closer than your next breath? Look back at your life. Remember that moment when someone held your hand while you were breaking, or when a stranger smiled at you when you felt invisible. Wasn't there something sacred in that? God often shows up in disguise, not with trumpets or thunder, but with tenderness. He hides in the comforting hug of a friend, in the silence that understands, in the gentle word that arrives right on time. So I ask you, have you ever experienced a moment that felt divine, but wasn't religious? Maybe you didn't recognize it then, but now you do. Share it with us in the comments. Your experience might help someone else connect the dots in their own life. You see, every day we are given chances to feel God, to be God, for someone else. But that starts with recognizing that He already lives within you. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be present. And when you begin to see the sacred in the simple, the divine in the daily, life becomes a prayer. Not something you say, but something you live. Think about this. What if you were someone's answer to prayer today? We often wait for God to act from above, to change our situation with a miracle. But what if the miracle is meant to come through you? You carry within you the power to heal, to uplift, to transform. Not because you are flawless, but because love flows through you when you choose it. And love is God's language. Have you ever noticed how a single act of kindness can shift someone's entire day? A text that says, "I'm thinking of you." A moment of listening without trying to fix. A gesture that says, "You matter." In those small, often invisible acts, we become divine messengers. We've been conditioned to believe that only the extraordinary is holy. But the truth is, the divine reveals itself in simplicity, in the smile you offer when you don't feel like smiling, in the forgiveness you extend, even while your heart is still tender, in the decision to respond with grace, not ego. These are not just human choices. These are sacred invitations. Moments where the Creator in you shows up for the world. So here's something for you to reflect on. When was the last time you were someone's light without even realizing it? Was it a kind word, a helping hand, or just your quiet presence? Leave a comment below. Your story might remind someone of their own worth. You don't need to wait for divine permission to act from your heart. You already carry the spark. You already are the temple. And maybe, just maybe, someone will look back on today and say, "That was the day God showed up for me, through you." So now that you know God lives within you, what will you do with that truth? It's easy to forget. We get caught in routines, pulled into stress, distracted by the noise of the world. We wait for the weekend, for the vacation, for things to calm down before we feel spiritual again. But what if holiness isn't found in the break from life? What if it's found within life? Every ordinary moment holds extraordinary potential if you show up with presence. When you choose love instead of reaction. When you slow down long enough to notice someone else's pain. When you pause to feel gratitude in the middle of chaos. That's not weakness, that's sacred power. The world teaches us to chase success, attention, validation. But the soul longs for something deeper: connection, peace, truth. And those things are not out there somewhere. They begin inside. When you choose to be love, to be grace, to be compassion, you're not just helping others. You're aligning yourself with the divine blueprint you were born with. You're healing your own wounds by being a vessel for something higher. Let me ask you this. What's one way you could show up as a reflection of God today? Not in a dramatic way, but in a simple human way. Drop it in the comments. We're all learning from each other here. And if your mind tries to tell you you're not enough or that you've made too many mistakes, remember this. God never asked for perfection. He asked for presence. He asked for willingness. He asked for your heart. And when you offer that, honestly, humbly, you don't just find God. You become part of how God moves in the world. So now I ask you, with all the honesty in your heart, have you met God today? Not in thunder or fire, not in a sermon or a song, but in your own reflection. In the way you chose patience instead of anger. In the way you listened with empathy, even when you were tired. In that quiet voice inside you that said, "Keep going. You're not alone." Maybe you didn't recognize it in the moment, but God was there. He is always there, not watching from a distance, but whispering through your intuition, your compassion, your courage. The divine doesn't wait for perfect moments. It meets us right in the mess, the ordinary, the unfinished parts of life. And sometimes we don't need to look for God. We just need to remember, He already lives within us. You don't have to do something big to make a difference. Maybe your kindness today will be someone's miracle. Maybe your story will be the sign someone was praying for. Maybe your healing will be the beginning of someone else's. That's the sacred cycle. When we recognize the divine in ourselves, we begin to awaken it in others. So if this message touched you, even a little, please don't keep it to yourself. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep walking this path together. Share this with someone who might need to hear it today. You never know who's quietly praying for a sign. And your click, your comment, your presence might be the answer. Because today God didn't just show up for you. He showed up through you. And the next time you wonder where He is, look in the mirror. He's right there, looking back at you.